Hello everybody, Bruce here with a video that I promised to make for you regarding lists and how they can be mutated. In fact, we ran into a problem kind of on purpose in class last week whereby when we assigned a list to a variable and then took that variable and passed it to another function, right, that pointed to the list, we found that we were actually mutating the list, right? And even if we tried to assign it to another value, let's say we had list 2 equal to list 1, we saw that the values were still mutated even after we tried to modify list 2, right? So it was like both variables were pointing to the same list, which they do in Python. Okay, they reference the same data in memory within Python. So I put together a little program, and you can get it in Slack. And let me just review right now the code before I run a thing. The first thing I defined was a function called func1, F-U-N-C and the number 1, and we're passing into it something, and it's going to be known within that function as a list. That's the variable. And the job of this function is simply to take the list that gets passed in and append the word Eric. The next thing is our main function, where I'm going to go through and call func1 in various ways and show you how the mutation of the list occurs. So let me run through the code without running a thing right now. So I create a list of students, Bruce, Gail, Tucker, and Bella, and I assign that list to a variable called students. I then print the list students so we can see that the list is, in fact, Bruce, Gail, Tucker, and Bella. And then I call func1 here, and I pass in the list of students. And when I pass it in, it's going to append the student name Eric to the list. And then I print again right here on the highlighted line the newly mutated list. The next thing I do is I print 2 blank lines. And then what I do here is I created a list of students again. And why I did that was because, as you'll see when I run this, we are mutating students here, okay? Because Eric's going to get added to students. So I just reinstantiated the variable right here, the highlighted line with those 4 students. And then what I did here to prove to you, right, how to make this work the correct way, right, is to take the list of students right here. But notice what I did. I told it to slice from the beginning to the end. I could have put a 0 in there. And that actually will take students and reassign it to copy of students as a new list. Okay? So what I'm saying is, if we had just done this, look carefully, please, at this line right here. If we did not have this here, if I said here that student equals copy of students, just like that, both students variable, the students variable, and the copy of students variable would both still be pointing to the same list in the computer's memory. Okay, so this is the technique you need to do when you need to refer to a new copy, of a list. And right here I have copy of students, and now we can mess with copy of students all we want, and you'll see that we won't be affecting the original list of students. Okay, so now below here, right here with the highlighted line, I will call func1 with copy of students, right, which appends on Eric, okay, which appends on Eric, and then I'll print out the new copy of students and the original list of students. And what you'll see is that this list right here, the highlighted line here, this highlighted statement right here, that variable students won't be affected. Ready? Because we made a real copy of it using this line right here. All right, so let's run this puppy. Whoops. What's it? Okay, good. So here's the initial list: Bruce, Gail, Tucker, and Bella. This is the top part of the program, and the program is available in Slack. And when we called func1 with students, you can see that it mutated the list. Func1, Bruce, Gail, Tucker, and Bella, and Eric. The next thing is I printed out the reinstantiated list of students: Bruce, Gail, Tucker, and Bella. There they are. I made a copy of them, right? And you can see here, actually, copy of students was not mutated. That's a little bug there. Hold on one second. The copy of students was not mutated. But actually, let's go look at that code. Let's go look at that code. Copy of students, where did I say that? Copy of students was not mutated. Copy of students here. Let me run this one more time. Okay, copy of students was mutated. Okay, that's the point. I'm being a little, I'm not thinking here. It's really early in the morning for me. Copy of students was not mutated. So, but it was mutated. You see right here, it was mutated. But what I mean to say here is that we didn't mutate students. Do you see this here? We did not mutate students. The original students list was now intact. Okay, so let me just code up another quick example so you can see this in a shortened version. Okay, now that you have some of that info, let's not even use functions here. Let's just create a list of cars. Okay, there's a list of cars. We'll do Ford, Chevy, and Toyota. Okay, there's that list. Now, if I say something like this, cars1 equals cars, right? So we're assigning the list of cars to a new variable cars, right? If I go and say, hey, cars, append onto you now, say, a BMW, right? And then print out cars, right? Cars, actually cars1, okay? Both of those are going to be affected. So I'll just call this cars. And I'll run it. Ready? Here we go. See how BMW got added to cars1? Do you see that right here? BMW got added to cars1. And if I do cars here, right, they're both the same, right? So the way to make a copy of a list, the way to make a copy of a list right here is not this way. Not this way on line here. We would say something like this. We'd say, hey, cars1, you equal cars, and we'll just we'll do 0 colon that. Okay, you could do it this way too, just like that. Same thing, right? So let's do it that way. So ready? Let's run this. Yep, and see how cars1 now, right, didn't get the BMW appended to it. All right. So thanks for watching this video. If you Slack me via a direct message the code word of coffee cup, or the code words of coffee cup, I'll pen in some extra bonus points when I go to do your final grade at the end of the quarter. Thanks for watching.